Hi, I'm Dot from dottotrot.com. Over the last 4 years, I've lost roughly 145 pounds eating low-carb, high-fat foods, including one I'm about to make, which is a blueberry lemon scone. Now, this scone is wonderful to have in the mornings. It's something you can just grab and go and head out the door to the office, or if you're rushing the kids off to school. It's real simple to make. It takes about 20 minutes. Best bet is to make it the night before, and it lasts for a few days. You'll make about 6 scones with this recipe, so let's get started. The ingredients you need, simply 2 eggs. You need a cup of hazelnut flour. I have a third of a low-carb sweetener. I have a handful of blueberries, make that a large handful of blueberries. 2 tablespoons of walnuts, a 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, a lemon, I'm going to use the juice of 1 lemon, and then I have dried lemon zest. So what you want to do first is you want to already have the eggs in my mixing bowl. You want to add your hazelnut flour. And you don't use traditional flour when you're eating low carb because it raises the blood sugar level way too high. So you want to avoid any type of, what I like to say, easily digestible flours, such as wheat. Wheat is a big no-no if you're eating low carb. However, nut flours are great to have because they offer they're very nutrient dense, they're very low carb, and they have good proteins and really great fat within them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start mixing all the ingredients together right now. The egg, the flour, everything except the blueberries and the lemon juice. I'm going to fold the blueberries in once I have some moisture in here as I'm mixing all this together. I want everything to be moist. You're making a batter, but it's not going to be running like a pancake batter. You are making a scone, and you're basically going to drop them onto your pan. You want them to have some form. I made these one time a little too liquidy, and it came out instead of as a scone, as a cookie. It was still good, it was still tasty, but you want something not quite as flat as a cookie. I'm going to add my lemon juice. You want to add about, because I want that lemon flavor, I'm adding about, the juice of a lemon is about between 1 to 2 tablespoons. So that's what I'm doing right now. I got my little juicer. So that's 1 lemon, or 1/2 of a lemon. Here's the second half. That one's really juicy. Oh, and it smells so good. Now, I'm going to mix that in there. Make sure I got my lemon all throughout it. Now, I added the zest in there already. What you could also do if you instead is add the zest on top once the scones are already formed and ready to go into the oven. What I'm going to do now is, see, this is a little bit soft. This is what I'm talking about. It gets a little runny or a little bit too soft. So I'm going to add just a little more flour to it. And have these in my trusty little apron pocket. I'm going to try adding a tablespoon and seeing how that goes, and sort of add it slowly as I go. You just want to thicken it up somewhat, but not too thick. So this is getting there, we're close. I'm probably going to add 1 more tablespoon. This one's a little bit more of a heaping, but that's okay. Let's see if that does the trick. And again, like I said, if it gets a little bit too runny, it may come out like a cookie. That's still perfectly good. They're still delicious. You can certainly eat them. That looks good. So I think what I'm going to do now is add my blueberries. What you want to do is gently add the blueberries in. You don't want them busting up in here. So you add them. You just sort of fold them into your batter. That looks really good. So I'm not making traditional scones that you usually see like at a Starbucks where they're triangle shape. I'm just going to drop them in the pan so they'll be a little bit more rounded. Then we'll have a perfect shape to them. The best way to do this is I use parchment tape on my baking sheet. Parchment paper. And the nice thing about parchment paper is that you don't have to use any spray or any oils. It makes it clean up a heck of a lot easier. You just throw away your paper. And the scones won't stick to it. They just lift right off. So you want like a large teaspoon or a big spoon, and you're basically just going to drop that scone right on there. You want 6. That's what the batter makes, enough for 6 scones. So I usually just do 1 big spoonful as I go. Want them evenly spaced. Use my finger. I've washed my hands, so I am clean. However, as Julia Child likes to say, who's gonna know? So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more here. Here we go. 2 more to go, and then any extra, I just start adding them, making each one a little bit bigger. You also want to make sure, I like to evenly distribute the blueberries as much as possible. Ready. You preheat the oven to about 375. The scones we're going to go in for 15 minutes at least. You want them to get a little nicely browned on top, and you want a toothpick to come out clean. So it's just like any other type of baking that you're doing. Which one? Well, maybe put a little bit more batter here. Give this one some berries. There we go. These should have a nice shape to them. They'll come out sort of shaped like this is right now. What's great about these, and I'll be doing this in another video, is I like to top these with a butter cream cheese frosting. Also low carb. It tastes wonderful on top. You don't have to have that. It tastes great just with coffee if you want, like I said before. But the frosting does add a nice touch, and it gives you a little boost of fat too, because it's made primarily of butter and cream cheese. You can't go wrong with something like that. So let me go ahead and pop these in the oven, and then we'll come back in 15 minutes and see how they're doing. All right, it's been 15 minutes. I believe the scones are done, so I'm going to take them out of the oven. Oh, and they smell great. You can smell that lemon flavor. I'll put them right here. They're nice and brown on top, and I'm just going to put this in the middle. Whoops. I hit a walnut. It came out clean, so yes, they are done. You want to let these cool for 5 minutes before you enjoy, because they're awfully hot. You can add a buttercream cheese frosting to these to make them taste great, or like I said before, just grab and go and head out the door. They're great with coffee. It's a great little morning snack before you head off to work, or before you get the kids up in the morning if you like that quiet time. So if you're interested in a buttercream cheese frosting, I'm going to be making that in a separate video, and you can just go ahead and take a look and see if that interests you. See you later. Bye.